On this episode of Moi TV, I'm sharing another Life in Lockdown Creative Contagion collaboration special with you. I've asked a couple more of my photographer pals to interpret some Life in Lockdown photography themes with their unique style of shooting. Can you remember the last Creative Contagion crew? We had George, Sue, and Phil. If you haven't seen this episode, you can access the replay right here. There's also a link to that below in the show notes. This time we're spreading our creative contagion even further. Let's meet Kerry and Catherine.
Hi there, my name is Kerry Jordan. I am from West Sussex in the UK. I am a professional dog photographer, photographing clients' dogs outside in our beautiful British countryside. Before COVID, I was going into the most busiest period of my business. I regularly have between sort of 3 and 5 shoots per week. Obviously that's stopped. These are my guys, I have 5 whippets. And so that means per month I'm probably losing around £1,500 to £2,500. So yeah, it's been pretty hard. I've been able to do some brand photography for dog brands with these guys who are top dog models, but other than that I haven't been able to shoot any clients. I've had to extend my gift vouchers to another sort of, instead of 6 months, it's 9 months. So, but I've found some really creative outlets during it, so it's not all bad.
Hi, my name is Catherine Berry. I am the owner of Entirely Catherine Photography, and normally I'm out and about shooting headshots and event shots for my clients who market online. Unfortunately, COVID-19 has stopped all that and means I've lost probably between £3,000 and £5,000 in earnings. It's really not a good situation and I can't wait to be back working. I live in the UK, just outside of London. It takes me 20 minutes to travel in, work with my clients normally. I can't wait to be back.
And you remember me, right? Hey, I'm Laura and my business is Laura Pearman Photography. I shoot career-defining headshots for ambitious business owners all over the world. I had 15k in my pipeline just before COVID-19 hit my hometown. I'm based in South Tyneside, which is in the northeast of the UK. Don't forget, you can still support all of these excellent photography businesses right now, despite the lockdown. There's links on how you can do this below in the show notes. And don't forget, if you're broke right now, you can help us by sharing this episode of Moi TV with 5 people you know who need some inspiration right now. The themes this time, social distancing. We've all been living under the rules of keeping our distance with people outside of our households to 2 meters. Whilst we've just started seeing political discussions around reducing this, it certainly makes for an interesting brief photographically. See what we've created.
Obviously, with social distancing in place, I couldn't photograph for private clients, even if we were photographing outdoors and I could stay at a reasonable distance. And so I had to think of something else so that I could at least bring in some kind of income. I started offering lockdown mini shoots for dog brands who could safely send their products to me, as well as a few brands who actually wanted full package shoots. It meant that I could keep on working even if it was a fraction of what I was doing before. It did feel strange at first as I didn't have a client with me, but at the same time I actually felt less pressure. I really found a creative flow when I was working by myself, and a couple of times I came up with setups and ideas that I may not have thought of if I was constantly referring back to the client and breaking that flow. What I did miss though was the mutual enthusiasm and excitement when everything comes together to create the images that the client loves. Instead, what I had was WhatsApp smiley happy face emojis.
So this is social distancing. I've also named it the field because I'm so creative like that. Language isn't my life, photos are my life. I much prefer working with photography than I do with language. Anyway, as you can see, it's just a capture of lots and lots of different exposures again. I think if I could have done this again, I would have probably put some more of myself to the edges, but to the sides of the image. But there's something quite nice about it all being grouped together, because this was a walk that I did like quite a lot of times near the beginning of lockdown. I in fact I got kind of bored of going to the same field and walking around the same field, but yeah, this sort of partly depicts the monotony, but also the sort of comedy of the fact that, well, I'm walking around the same field, probably wore the same outfit, not every day consecutively, but I probably wore that same outfit quite a lot of times to go around that field. It was quite a joy to create this one, because I had to go out on my own, set the camera up. I had to use different focal points to make sure that I can capture myself. And I had a lot of people watching me as I was doing it and thinking, what is that nut doing? But anyway, I enjoyed myself doing this. This is it. This is my social distancing.
I've had some of the nicest chats waiting in social distancing queues like these over the last few months. While it is commonplace for Geordies to strike up conversation, we are indeed the friendliest of people with strangers. It has been a delightful and heartwarming aspect that I could never have predicted. In this particular precinct, there is a new one-way system that has been imposed. It reminds me of being in school again. The new normal, a new term we've heard over and over since the intense change with lockdown began. It's now settled into our day-to-day consciousness. The feelings of what is and isn't normal can be dramatically changed after all. See what we created.
With the restrictions now being eased, I'm starting to book in private clients again, but it's just not feeling the same. I'm quite a tactile person, and my shoots usually end with a really big hug. It's going to feel really strange to just wave at a distance, and having this invisible threat hanging over our heads isn't really great for a nice relaxing shoot. However, being on lockdown has really made me appreciate some of the walks on my doorstep, and I've definitely seen an increase in the amount of people on my local walks, and they're usually very quiet, so I guess people are really appreciating nature as well too. But more than just appreciating nature, I appreciated the solitude, the quiet time to think, and something that as an entrepreneur you don't often get to do because it feels like a luxury. It's most definitely something that I now realise is so important to have that alone time, and that it's not a luxury, it's actually a necessity.
This is the new normal, also known as the living room. Very creative again. As you can see, the least opaque layer is me sitting on my laptop talking with friends, communicating with business owners, generally sharing tips and tricks together and helping us to support each other's business as best we can, especially as most people, not just photographers, but a lot of people have been really adversely affected by COVID-19 and not being able to go out to work as normal. So yeah, mostly the time that's indoors has been pretty dull. So dull stuff like cleaning, reading a little bit, lots of watching television. As you can see, the layers, I let them merge the 3 layers together so that you can see a little bit of each in the television, because that kind of, the whole telly being on most of the time sort of does happen in our house. And then there's me looking out the window, like kind of like, oh, just look, like she's just moved, her car, that lady, once in a week. Excitement, hey? Yeah, this is it, new normal at the moment. Hopefully not too much longer. Hopefully no more homeschooling, which I didn't depict in this photo, but oh yeah. Anyway, hopefully back to being a photographer very soon.
I usually make a point of seeing my mummy Pearman about once a week on average, and since lockdown we haven't seen each other much at all. When restrictions began lifting slightly, we've started popping round each other's houses for a chat, but from a safe distance. Barriers to being with company is something that we've all been feeling with friends and family. I wanted to show the physical barrier that lockdown has imposed upon us all. Outdoor moments. Along with living the new normal, we've all been mostly following the government guidelines of going outside. I'm sure you, like me, have seen abuse of this rule. Let's see what we created in this theme.
One of the most positive things that I can take out of being a photographer on lockdown is that I actually felt compelled to do a creative project for myself for the first time in probably years. My local woods, which is just on my doorstep, had just exploded with a sea of bluebells, and so I decided to visit them as often as I could, at least 4 times a week. to capture their short but intense lifespan. And so the Bluebell Diaries was created. Although a lot of the focus was on portraits of my own dogs in the bluebells, it really gave me the chance to explore the light in the woods, the way that it would create a natural spotlight as it filtered through the trees. The differences between the soft, cooler glow in the morning, the harsher, contrasting light during the day, and the soft, hazy warmth of the evening. It really made me remember how much I used to love photographing landscapes and nature.
This is my outdoor moments shot, and I am in my greenhouse. I've actually sub-named it the greenhouse. Very creative of me. You can see I've taken multiple exposures, and this actually is the only shot that actually includes a photo of me looking towards the camera. And it's probably my happiest moment, and probably the one where you'll see me smiling most, because I enjoy my greenhouse. You can see I've got a whole load of seedlings on the go, and that's real joy, because at the moment we could do with a little bit of hope. Things are a little bit difficult, and obviously we're not earning any money, so you know, stresses and strains of business are happening, but we have this nice little hobby that I can do from home, and you know, it's good fun. Your spot in the middle, I have some loo rolls. The loo rolls are a little nod to the whole we got stuck without loo rolls, didn't we, at the beginning of lockdown, although actually we had quite a good supply, if I'm honest, hence why I managed to use some as for my seedlings. Now the actual photo itself, the different opaque layers, you'll see just depicting the moments and time that we've had outdoors. This is me in my outdoor moment in the garden. I enjoyed it.
Getting outside is something I said I would 100% be doing regularly when lockdown began, but it's not something I've really added into my daily schedule at all. I'm a home bird by nature, and I love that I can work from home. On the odd walk outside, we have found a really nice remote loop nearby the house. On this particular trip, we did the loop in reverse to mix things up a little bit, and then decided to cut it short further up the river because we saw tons of people had gathered there to feed the ducks. This makes me think about a collective agoraphobic mood, or a fear of crowds, technically known as an enochlophobia, developing on the joint consciousness of being alive in this time. Don't forget, I created a thematic and timely Lightroom preset collection called CreativeContagion. It's designed to help you add more of the current mood to your selfies and DIY photography. I would love your support with this. I want to help you capture this time in your own photography. You can give it a special COVID-19 CreativeContagion theme by using the Lightroom presets I've made. Don't worry, full training on how to use them in your phonography is included. You can take a look at them through the link in the show notes. We're on a summer hiatus between seasons right now here on Moi TV. I hope to present another CreativeContagion next month, and normal programming will resume with season 3 in September. Till then, mwah! Now before you go anywhere, don't forget to subscribe. Mwah!